So while the C70 is a ready-to-go camera, I find that there are situations where I require a little bit of rigging. So I'm going to talk about the two options from Ntze. So first of all, let's take a look at the full cage. So when you look at this top side, to me the most interesting feature would be this support bracket for the original 0.71 mount adapter. So instead of using the original Canon mounts that I have here, you can secure it using this bottom bracket, which makes your life a bit easier because if you want to remove it, you just remove 2 screws here rather than 4 screws. So I'm gonna remove this and stick to this. Okay, when you look at the top, you will notice that you still have access to your original cold shoe and one more cold shoe here. Just that the problem is this cold shoe is very short and you really need to secure your whatever you're putting there pretty well. It does work. I've took it on a shoot the other day with this microphone on and I didn't have issues of this microphone loosening. Alright, it did work for me. And what I like is that I could mount the original handle. So you can mount a third party as well, but now you still have 2 cold shoes, and on top of that I have one more here. So at the center here you also have this mounting, which is a 3/8 with the locating pin. So if I have something like this EVF, I could just mount it on top easily. Now moving to the bottom, it's very thoughtfully designed. They have now solved the issue of not having lateral mounting holes for adapter plates. So you will be able to prevent any twisting with this base plate because they are now securing the entire cage via these 2 screws, leaving this whole row of mount in the middle. So you will notice there is also a nice tool here, which is very helpful, and they have also thoughtfully left a cutout for the ventilation. Now coming to the back is something that I'm very proud of. This is a suggestion from myself, and I requested them to have some way to mount this 2 piece for my strap from Peak Design, and they actually did it. And let me show you how it works. When you put this on, you put that. Now sling your C70 this way, and it's very quick when you are securing it here compared to the 2 ends. So you can sling across your body and just whip up the camera and you're ready to shoot. So that, I'm really happy with this. Alright, so that's the back. So when you look at the side, I'm happy to report that they have a NATO rail here. So if you have any stuff that is NATO rail, like an additional handle, or you want to put your microphone on the side or whatever, you can, but obviously there will be a little bit of restriction in interference in terms of your finger. I don't have very large fingers, I'm Asian, so for those of you with huge fingers, this is something to think about. Alright, they are all 1/4" screws except this one is a 3/8 with airy locating. And over at the bottom here would be the HDMI mount. I don't normally use this, but just to show that if you want to mount this, you need to make sure that you are moving this all the way to the end and then tightening it. Otherwise, it is possible to loosen. So if I jerk it out really hard, I don't really, okay, now I managed to yank it out, but that took quite a bit of force. So this is one thing I think Ntze is trying to look into it. Personally, I think it works well enough for me. I don't think I'll be pulling it out, but I guess it's something that is worth investigating for them. But I do like it that when this is there, I don't need to completely remove this dust cover. So that is nice. Now if you look at the other side, now this is the interesting part. They actually designed it such that you can still conveniently put on a strap as if it was the original. So somebody asked me if it's very far away. Okay, there's a bit of a thickness here, but it is not that bad. I mean, obviously it doesn't feel as comfortable as holding the original grip, but it's not something that would get into my operations. You can see I can move, access all my buttons quite easily still. Alright, so I think this part is well done. Definitely not as comfortable, but if you need the full cage, then I guess this is a sacrifice to make. And here as well, they have all the loads of mounting holes as well, but there's no NATO rail here. If you need to shoot vertical, then you probably wouldn't be able to mount that. Alright, so that's for the full cage. So next I want to talk about the top plate. Now this Ntze top plate is very simple. It's secured via the original cold shoe screw and one more pin over here. So actually the design is very simple, just 2 screws. They are included in the package with the Allen key, and I find it really secure. In fact, I find myself wanting to hold the camera from here because now you have a nice grip and it's very solid. You definitely feel very secure about it. That's what I can say. Now I've mounted a NATO rail here because I like their stinger handle very much, and you see, you just put it on and you're good to go. So this is very nice and balanced. If you look at it, this is the original large handle, not the mini one. Although I'm also interested to get one of those. Now the next thing you will ask is, where do I place the monitor? And here I have another adapter from Ntze, and I'm going to say that this is pretty interesting because they have some kind of rubber in there and it doesn't loosen. It's like damping the movement and it's very solid. Keeps your monitor in place. So I like it at this 45 degrees angle because I can have my monitor all the way up or horizontally. Next thing is that I would mount my microphone over here with the only cold shoe. Unfortunately, I wish they had put more, but that's the only one they did. Yeah, and this DLT mic I can mount an additional left mic. So in this case, the left mic I will have to mount the cold shoe somewhere below the handle, and that will work for me because I can put the input to this D4 Duo from DLT, and this mic will go into the mic input. Alright, the next thing would be the follow focus for this cine lens. Now I have the original Nucleus Nano and the 50mm rod. I'm going to put it down, and you can see that it mounts very quickly and easily. Okay, as you can see, it's very smooth. Right, the only issue I have is, how do I mount this controller? I don't have a spot that I can mount it, and so far my only idea is to have this little rod. Unfortunately, I can't find my rod. You have to put that rod over here, and then Tilta has an accessory which is at an angle. It was meant for base plate below on rails, and I figured out you can do it upside down. The only disadvantage is instead of mounting this controller this way, you have to mount it upside down this way, but it will not fall off and it will work as well. Now for those of you who want an EVF, this affordable one from Potkeys, you can mount it here. I've got this fabulous Ntze adapter here, which is once again another amazing device. It's very solid and you can secure it very easily. That's how it goes. Okay, so it's quite a complete kit, I'd say. With just a base plate, I can do so much. So I hope that has been useful. Till the next time, see you guys again.